In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Dear viewers, peace be upon you. Today's video is based on a few incidents concerning the judgments of Ali. May God honor him. It includes the story of a false accusation of adultery against a beautiful orphan girl, a conversation between Umar and the Black Stone during the Hajj pilgrimage, and a story about the sale of camels between Umar and a Bedouin. During the caliphate of Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, an orphaned girl was being raised in a man's house. This man was often out of town for business, and in his absence, the girl grew into a young woman. She was exceptionally beautiful and possessed unparalleled grace. When the man's wife saw the girl's beauty, she became fearful, thinking, if my husband sees her beauty, he will become infatuated with her and will love her more than me. Driven by this fear, she consulted with a few other women. They gave the girl a sedative and, in front of the other women, used a finger to break the girl's hymen. When the husband returned from his journey, he asked his wife about the orphaned girl. She replied, "The girl has ruined her own fate." The husband questioned the girl, who swore an oath that no man had ever touched her, but the wife brought forward her witnesses. Eventually, the husband took this dispute to Umar. Umar heard the entire case but couldn't reach a decision. The man suggested, "Send us to Ali." When the man reached Ali and told him the story, the judge of the faith, Ali, asked the wife, "Do you have proof and witnesses for this girl's adultery?" The woman fearlessly replied, "My neighboring women are witnesses to what I am saying." Hearing this, Ali ordered the witnesses to be brought forward. When the women arrived, Ali drew his sword, Zulfikar, from its sheath and placed it in front of him. He called one of the witnesses and questioned her. She repeated the same story the man's wife had told. After her testimony, the second woman was called. Ali knelt down and said, "Woman, do you know who I am? I am Ali ibn Abi Talib, and this is my sword, Zulfikar. The man's wife has already told the real truth, and I have granted her safety. Tell the truth, and you too shall be safe. But if you lie, I will cut you in two with this sword." The woman immediately cried out, "Mercy, grant me safety. I will tell you the whole truth." Ali said, "You are safe. Tell me, what is the truth?" The woman said, "By God, this girl did not commit any sin. The truth is that when the man's wife saw her youth and beauty, she became afraid that her husband would fall for her. So she gave the girl a sedative, called her to her house, and broke the girl's hymen in front of us." Hearing the real story, Ali loudly proclaimed, "Allahu Akbar, God is the greatest. I am the first person to have separated witnesses after the prophet Daniel." He then ordered that the wife be given the punishment for false accusation and be separated from her husband. The man divorced her on Ali's command and married the orphaned girl. For the false witnesses, he decreed a punishment of akar, which is 400 dirhams for each of them. Ali paid the orphan girl's dower from his own wealth and took nothing from the man.
After the orphan girl's case was settled, Umar asked, "O Abul Hassan, what is the story of Prophet Daniel? Please tell us." Ali replied, "Prophet Daniel was an orphan. An old woman from the children of Israel had adopted him, and he grew up under her care. In that era, the king had appointed 2 judges. A righteous man also frequented the king's court, and the king was very fond of him. This righteous man dearly loved his wife, who was incredibly beautiful and virtuous. The 2 judges were jealous of this righteous man because the king often consulted with him on important matters. One day, the king told the judges he wanted to send a responsible person on an important mission and asked for their recommendation. The 2 judges suggested the righteous man. The king liked their idea. The judges informed the man of the king's wish, and he agreed to undertake the journey. Before leaving, he told the judges, "Do not neglect to check on my wife daily," and added, "I entrust you with her well-being." They reassured him they would take good care of her. After the man left, the two judges went to his palace. When they saw the beauty of his wife, they were overcome with desire. They tried to seduce her, but she rejected them. The two judges threatened her, "If you do not fulfill our demand, we will accuse you of adultery before the king, testify against you, and have you stoned to death." The virtuous woman replied, "I will not give in to you. Do whatever you can." The two went to the king and testified that she had committed adultery. The king was stunned, as her piety and virtue were well known. He sat with his head bowed for a few moments, then looked up and said, "Your testimony is accepted, but I will give the woman a 3-day grace period." A town crier announced that on a certain day, at a certain place, the woman would be stoned. The news spread, but the king was troubled. He told his minister, "What do you make of this? I cannot imagine that this woman, known for her virtue, would commit such an act." The minister replied, "I too am surprised by this accusation." Finally, the last day arrived. As the minister was walking through an alley, he saw some children playing. Among them was the young prophet Daniel. In their game, Daniel said to the other children, "Come, let's play the game of the king and the judge." He told them, "Consider me the king," and appointed 2 other children as judges. He then designated another child to be the righteous man's wife. Daniel gathered some dirt, made a throne, sat on it, and used a wooden stick as his sword. He had the child playing the wife stand to one side and ordered the witnesses to be presented. The 2 judges came forward. Daniel ordered, "Separate them from each other." He sent one to one location and the second to another. He then summoned one and asked, "Tell the truth. What is your testimony about this woman? If you lie, I will behead you with this sword." The minister was watching this children's game intently. The child witness said, "I testify that the righteous man's wife committed adultery." Daniel asked, "With whom? At what time? On what day? And in which house?" The witness answered each question. Daniel then ordered him to be taken away and the second witness to be brought. When the second witness appeared, Daniel asked him the same questions, but his answers were different from the first witnesses. In a kingly manner, Daniel declared, "Allahu Akbar. O people, these 2 judges are liars. They have given false testimony. They should both be executed." When the minister heard the verdict of this children's court, he rushed to the king and told him everything. The king immediately summoned the 2 judges and had them separated just as Daniel had done. When questioned separately, their statements contradicted each other. The king then ordered, "These 2 have falsely accused a virtuous woman of adultery. Therefore, they shall both be executed." It is narrated that during the Hajj pilgrimage with Umar, after completing the circumambulation, they came to kiss the black stone. Umar said, "I know you are just a stone. You can neither harm nor benefit. If I hadn't seen the messenger of the universe kiss and greet you, I would not kiss or greet you today." When Ali heard this, he said, "O son of Khattab, do not say that. This stone can indeed harm and benefit." Umar asked, "O Abul Hassan, is there any proof for this?" Ali replied, "Yes, the proof is in the Book of God. When God Almighty created Adam, he touched his back to the black stone and took a covenant from the descendants of Adam regarding his lordship and their servitude. He then recorded this covenant in a book. This stone had a tongue and 2 eyes. On the day of judgment, the Lord will command this stone to testify to the faith and loyalty of every person, both those who visited it and those who, out of disbelief and stubbornness, did not."
Ali then added, "I heard the messenger of God say that on the day of resurrection, the black stone will testify in a clear and eloquent voice for every person who kissed it or touched it. For those who did not visit it, its testimony will be to their detriment. So know, O Umar, that this stone can benefit and harm us." Upon hearing this, Umar said, "I seek refuge in God from living among a people where you are not present." In another account, Anas ibn Malik narrated, "Once I was with Umar in Mina when a Bedouin man approached us with some camels. Umar asked me to find out if the Bedouin wanted to sell them. I went and asked him, and he said, 'Yes, I brought them to sell.' I informed Umar, who then went to the Bedouin and bought 14 camels from him. He told me, Anas, take these camels. The Bedouin then said, please return the saddles and blankets on the camels to me. Umar replied, the saddles and blankets are included with the camels. The Bedouin disagreed. No, that is not so. I only sold the camels. They finally appointed Ali as their arbitrator. Ali asked Umar, when you bought the camels, did you make it a condition that the saddles and blankets were included? Umar replied, no, I did not make that a condition. Ali then ruled, if they were not part of the purchase agreement, then the saddles and blankets belonged to the Bedouin. Umar then ordered Anas to return the saddles and blankets to the Bedouin and bring the camels bare. During Umar's caliphate, a black-skinned man came to him holding the hand of a black-skinned woman and said, my wife and I are both black, but the child she has given birth to is white-skinned. This cannot be my son. Umar turned to his companions and asked for their opinion. They said, the husband is right. Since they are both black, the child's color suggests he is not from their lineage. The woman should be stoned. Umar ordered her to be stoned. When news of this reached Ali, he came and after investigating, turned to the man and said, are you accusing your wife? The man said, no, O Ali. Ali then asked, did you have intercourse with her during her menstrual period? The man replied, one night I wanted to be with her, but she said she was on her period. I thought she was making an excuse because the weather was cold and bathing would be difficult, so I had relations with her. Ali then asked the woman, did your husband have intercourse with you during your period? She replied, yes, I tried to stop him, but he didn't listen. Ali then declared, go, this is the result of your own actions. This son is yours, because when the sperm was fertilized, blood overcame it. If the sperm had been dominant, your son would have been black like you. Hearing this, the man was satisfied and went home with his wife. It is narrated that two women were arguing over two children, a boy and a girl. Each woman claimed that the boy was hers. The matter escalated, and they brought their dispute to Umar for a decision. When the case was presented, Umar became perplexed. He stood up and sat down several times, looking left and right, asking, O assembly of migrants and helpers, what is your judgment in this dispute? The attendees were themselves confused and couldn't figure out how to solve the case. They said, you have better knowledge than us. At this, Umar became angry and said, O you who believe, fear God and speak a direct word. By God, you know me well, and you also know who has greater knowledge than me. The companion said, it seems you are thinking of Ali. Umar responded, how could I not think of Abul Hassan? Has nature created anyone like Ali? Has any woman given birth to another like Ali? The companion suggested sending for him. Umar replied, woe to you! Ali's station is far too high. His flesh is the Prophet's flesh. He is like a sky-high mountain whose peaks no bird can reach. He is the legacy of the messenger and a priceless mine of knowledge. It is our duty to go to him, not for him to come to us. Come, let's go to Ali's service together.
Umar along with the companions went to Ali's residence. They found him digging in his garden with a hoe in his blessed hands, reciting verses from the Quran. Does man think that he will be left neglected? Was he not a drop of sperm emitted? Then he was a clinging clot, and God created him and proportioned him. Tears were flowing from his eyes, wetting his blessed beard. When Ali finished his recitation and saw the people, he asked, O son of Khattab, what brings you here? Umar explained the dispute of the two women over the boy and the girl, admitting, I am unable to solve this difficult problem, so I have come to your door. Hearing this, Ali picked up a straw from the ground and said, the answer to this problem is easier than breaking this straw. Order both women to bring their milk in separate containers. Then weigh their milk. The woman whose milk is heavier is the mother of the boy, and the one whose milk is lighter is the mother of the girl. Because in the Quran, God Almighty has stated, the male will have the share of two females. Umar returned and did as Ali had instructed. The milk of both women was weighed. The woman with the heavier milk was given the boy, and the one with the lighter milk was given the girl. A man came to Ali and said, O commander of the faithful, I have sworn an oath that I will weigh an elephant. Ali replied, what kind of oath is this? Why did you need to swear such an oath? You have sworn to do something you are not capable of." The man said, "O Ali, but I have already taken the oath." Ali advised him, "Do this, put the elephant on a boat and mark how far the boat sinks into the water. Then, take the elephant off the boat. Now, fill the boat with stones until it sinks to the same mark. When it reaches that level, take the stones out and weigh them. That will be the weight of the elephant." Once, a slave was brought to Umar accused of murdering his master. Umar asked the slave, "Did you kill your master?" The slave confessed, "Yes, I killed him." Umar asked, "Why?" The slave explained, "He took unfair advantage of his rights as my master and forced me into an unnatural act of sodomy." Umar ordered him to be executed. When Ali learned of this, he came to the mosque and told Umar, "Do not punish him for 3 days. It is essential to verify his statement. For now, put him in prison." Umar said, "O Abul Hasan, he has confessed himself. After his confession, there is no need for verification." Ali replied, "Verification of the accusation against his master is necessary." Umar asked, "How can the accusation be proven from the deceased when his body has already been buried?" Ali asked the deceased heirs, "When did you bury the body?" They replied, "O Ali, we have just come from burying him and have brought the killer to the court." Ali asked, "If his accusation proves true, will you still execute him for the murder?" Umar asked, "If the accusation is true, does that mean he is not a murderer?" Ali replied, "Does Islam not permit a Muslim to protect his own chastity?" Umar then asked, "O Ali, how can the accusation be proven from the deceased now?" Ali said, "Keep the slave in prison for 3 days. On the 3rd day, the accusation will either be proven true or false. If it is false, then execute him." On the 3rd day, Ali came to the mosque. He took Umar's hand, went to the grave of the deceased and asked, "Is this the grave?" They confirmed it was. Ali ordered the grave to be opened. When they reached the burial chamber, they informed Ali. He commanded them to take the body out of the grave, but when they looked inside, they saw nothing. He ordered someone to go down into the grave. A man went in and found the grave was empty. When they informed Ali that there was nothing in the grave, he proclaimed loudly 3 times, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar," and said, "I have never spoken a lie, nor have I been told a lie. I heard my master the prophet of the end time say that whoever from my community commits the act of the people of Lot and dies in that state, he will be given a respite of 3 days after his death because of his being from my community. After the 3rd day, his body will no longer be in his grave. The angels will take him from there and deliver him to the people of Lot." Thus, the absence of the master's body in the grave proved both the prophet's statement and the slave's accusation to be true. Consequently, the slave was forgiven. I should clarify that the people of Prophet Lot were afflicted with homosexuality, and God Almighty subjected them to a severe punishment. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked our video, please like it and share it with your friends. We will meet in the next video. Until then, goodbye. May God protect you.